The first time she met me, she hated me. I found her loud and brash. Today, she's one of my closest friends. Kajol. They don't make them like her anymore. No one can yell like her. No one can love like her. If she doesn't like you, God help you. But if she loves you, she's yours forever. She's loud, laughs easily, and always speaks her mind. I'm yet to know anyone as original and true to self as Kajol. And the more I get to know her, the more she intrigues me.
So we are here, Kajol, today. Like you said, to take the day off to discuss life.
To take the day off to discuss what you've been doing the day before.
The day before, yeah, that's true. I think one of the foremost things that I remember about you is when you very categorically told our common friend Ryan that you dislike me and that you would not like me to be on your set. And that's the same evening when I told Ryan that, my God, she's so brash and she speaks so roughly. I don't want to come on her sets at all.
See, and that's why we're friends.
So I've always wanted to ask you, like, first of all, I thought you were very, you spoke your mind out too clearly. And this is normally the first impression that most people have about you is that, oh my God, she'll say anything that she feels like at any moment and it might be derogatory to us. So it's better to stay away from her. I also feel on the other hand, people you love them to such a degree.
See, the point is that they love me besides that, that wonderful, amazing trait of mine. So I have to love them because of that particular
trait.
But
once Mickey told me that actually most of the time Kajol is so loud and brash because it's her defense mechanism, because she herself is not wanting to deal with too many things at the same time. Would you say that's true about you?
I am naturally a loud person. I like volume, let me put it that way, have from when I was a child. So that's something that's natural to me. As far as people are concerned, I am not... how do I put this? I have to put it in a way that's complimentary to me. Okay, let me just put it the way it is. The point is that I don't like many people. Most of the time, I take a kind of an instant survey of the person and it's either in or out. So there are times when I've been proven wrong and, you know, I've not liked the person and...
Me.
Yeah, exactly. when you know, I've come back and I've, you know, kind of loved this person and developed a whole relationship with that person and realized that my first impression was horribly wrong. But I would have to say that 90% of the time I'm right. They are horrible people and I don't want to know them. I mean, not horrible people, but people I don't want to know. And I believe that relationships are meant to be spent time over. And I don't have that much time to spend over a relationship also. So I would rather avoid that.
That was one of the important quotes that you gave me in one of my early interviews in the 90s. And I came back thinking that, oh my God, she thinks a lot like me. Only thing is she's far more expressive about it, because your quote was, and that was the headline, and I think everybody reacted to it very strongly, was that I hate 98% of the people I meet, and even the other 2% I barely tolerate.
It's true.
So I was like, your choice of your profession was quite ironical considering this trait in your personality, because
my choice of profession was incidental. not as you know, it wasn't really a choice that, oh, I had 5 different professions to choose from and I chose acting. It was incidental. It kind of happened to me, and oh, I was, as I said, you know, those 2% of people that I like or I barely tolerate happened to be Gautam and Rahul uncle, and and Mickey, and of course I had a blast. I really enjoyed myself on my first film per se. So I think that kind of opened me up to the idea of working, and I like this. I liked the kind of people that I met. I did films with people that I liked. I still do films with people that I like.
You only do films with people you like.
Because I believe that it is necessary. I feel that you can't spend... I did films with people that I didn't like and I suffered immensely.
I remember once when Mani Ratnam offered you Dil Se. You were shooting for Dushman at that time in Film City, and if you remember, you and me were there when you got a call and Mani Ratnam was talking to you and you thought Shah Rukh was playing a prank on you, and you kept telling Shah Rukh, shut up, please don't irritate me, and it was Mani Ratnam talking to you. So what was it? Was it an instinct that makes you say no to somebody like a Mani Ratnam who everybody else was dying to work with at that time?
You know, when Mani sir offered me that film, actually, it didn't work out for various reasons. It just didn't work out. He wanted me to give up Karan's film and I was like, no, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to do that to a friend of mine. It's his first film. It's, yes, it may be, you know, oh, I would till today love to work with Mani sir. I think he's a fabulous, fantastic director, and I lost out on a chance. But if I had to make the same choice again, I wouldn't have done it any differently. So it's pretty much instinctive for me.
But in a profession like this, where you will meet so many people, don't you think it then becomes a bit difficult for you, because then on screen you're portraying something, probably you're disliking the person, and you have to portray a feeling of great amount of affection. Yeah. Oh, that you are, there is no doubt about. So, but haven't you managed to transcend that to your real life? Haven't you managed to do that?
No,
or are you learning?
Real life I have not managed to do that.
Because I do.
Real life I've kind of become a little, I would say, more tolerant. The 98% has gone up a little more to like 96% because
no, I would say a little bit more than that.
It's about 95, 96. The rest I'm faking it. No, it's about 96%, and that I would say is credit to my kids. It was actually when Nissa was born. It's the way she looked at things that actually changed my perspective of looking at them, which is why I always say she and Yuga are my best teachers. They teach me like new things every day and reinforce the ones that they've already taught me. It was just that, you know, if I instinctively judged somebody or instinctively said that, oh, you know, not worth it. And she'd look at somebody and she'd be like, no, I want to go and play with that person. I had to give them a second look. I had no choice in the matter.
I think I remember Manish going through sheer torture trying to make you wear clothes that are glamorous but maybe slightly uncomfortable, or make you do hair in a certain way. But now, of late, in the last 3 years, I mean, I'm really impressed to see like very...
the change!
There's a
so-called change.
There is complete embracing of glamour. There is a certain poise and carriage which you didn't believe in.
You know, at that stage where girls go through this period of where they're experimenting with what their opinion on clothes is, I was always told, I was always given an array of clothes and said, oh, this is what you have to wear with this. So it was never my opinion. It was always forced upon me. It was always thrust upon me. So me, being my nice rebellious self, had to say that, no, I do not want this. No, I want to go the other way. No, I don't want to wear clothes. No, I don't want to wear makeup. And now that I had the time again, I was able to take that time out, and I wanted to know my opinion on clothes. I wanted to know my opinion on fashion. So I think that's where the change came about, and that's where, you know, I began experimenting with stuff and wanting to see whether I liked this or I didn't like that. So the stage which kids go through at about 14 and 15 is what I'm going through right now.
You were actually closer to more to your cousins from your mother's side. Growing up at that time, I remember saying this, you saying this in an interview, that you felt that you were a little tubby and they were a little unattractive compared to them because they were so svelte and slim and...
They were thin, tall. I was like, this is unfair. This is really unfair. They were thin and tall. And here I was, this nice little plump self eating my malai bhat, very comfortable eating it. And you know, my great-grandmother telling me, oh, you're starving yourself. माझ्या मुलाला जेवण नाही भेटत. तू ना मला माझ्या मुलाला मारणार आहेस. She used to continuously tell my mother, you know, harass my mother, that you're going to kill my child. You're not giving her food to eat, this, that, and the other. And here I was a happy 75, 80 kilos at
really?
16.
Oh, really?
16, yeah, I was.
I remember once coming to Usha Kiran and this really dignified lady walks in and she says, hi, I'm Shobna Samant, Kajol's grandmother. And there was a poise and there's a grace to her, which I think I see a lot of it in you as well.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment for me. That really is huge. It's a little unreal, actually.
No, it's not. Of course, she was far more soft-spoken than you are. And much more poised. But I think the inherent strength that she had, I think she has passed it on to your side of the... I mean, like your mom and then to you.
Definitely.
And, so how close were you to her? Like,
I was very close to her. She raised me. Because mom was gone so much of the time because she was working. And from the time that I was 4 till the time that I was 11, till I went to boarding school, she and my great-grandmother have raised me, fought amongst each other and co-raised me. So I was raised by these two nice old biddies. No wonder I love the 1950s era. I feel sometimes like I'm in the wrong era only because of that. It's my upbringing, basically.
One more thing I remember you having telling me about your childhood was that you hated watching your mother's movies.
I
because
hated.
you
I still
felt
do.
That she was crying or that she was singing songs and embracing these really strange men.
No, it wasn't the embracing the strange man. I was still okay with that part of it. I was upset because of the fact that if she had a kid in the film, the kid used to say mama, ma and all that. And I was like, these children are not your children. Why are they calling you ma and all? You are my mother and my mother solely and wholly. Tanisha was adopted and we all know that.
But having said that, you're a mother yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think Dissa will someday feel this way about when she sees the movies? I don't know whether she is watching your movies.
She also doesn't watch my movies. She's exactly like me. She's like, Mom, you cry too much in the movies. I don't understand why you choose these cranky movies. You should do movies like Golmaal. I said, yes, I know your father has amazing taste in films. But let's just say that I don't think that a Golmaal is right now in my future.
But she really said that you should do a film like Golmaal.
Yeah, she told me I should do Golmaal. I said, no, baby. No.
Do you really, like when you look back and when you see that you come to movies, you become a super successful actress.
It's like a
you
book.
Get them, yeah, you get all, and you get and it's also a book which is like, where are the downs and where are the crests and troughs? Because then you get married, then you have two lovely children, then you still continue to have a great career, and then like where are the parts which are sort of unpredictable or impulsive or adventurous?
Oh, there are lots of parts of it which are, first of all, the fact that I got into movies was impulsive and unpredictable. Nobody could have predicted it. No, I could not have predicted it about myself. The fact that I got into movies, it was something that I had from a childhood had, and I was very, very against, because I used to always look at my mother and say, Mom, I will never work as hard as you. The fact that I fell in love with an actor was unpredictable, because I could not have predicted that about myself.
Do you have the memory of that moment when you felt that Ajay was the guy for you?
You know, I think that it was, I think it was in the middle of a shot, actually. We were doing our first shot together, and it's a very strange, I feel embarrassed when I say it, because it sounds like a Mills and Boon romance or something like that. But I remember him standing, and I remember him standing in front of me for a shot. And I had met him before that. I mean, I had met him obviously in the course of the day or whatever. And I was like, who is this guy? He doesn't talk at all. What kind of a personality does he have? He sits in one corner, sits and smokes like a chimney and doesn't speak to anybody. What kind of a man is he? That was my opinion of him. Of course, then we were doing a shot together, and the shot was that I was supposed to slap him and he was supposed to hold my hand in so that I could not slap him, very dramatically hold my hand or whatever. And I remember that moment, and I remember thinking to myself, oh my God. And it was one of those flashes that suddenly came to me, that this man is going to play a very, very crucial role in my life. I just know it, that he's going to play a very, very crucial role in my life. And we didn't start going out for another 2 years after that, because I had a boyfriend, he had a girlfriend. So we were just friends. And of course, 2 years later, when we both kind of were out of our respective relationships, and then we started seeing each other.
Was that the part that was most interesting and attractive about him, that he could take charge and he could be silent and he could not? Because obviously, the rest of the co-stars that you name, most of them are very vocal and they speak a lot, and there is a...
No, I think it was the fact that he came across as really, really stable and solid. When you spoke to him, I remember telling him I was having problems with my boyfriend, and I was telling him about my boyfriend, and I was like, this has happened with me and that has happened with me, and he was sitting over there like one great big Guruji and Babaji and giving me his sage advice. Till today we call him Babaji sometimes. So he was giving me his sage advice as to, what I should do and how I should treat the situation at that point of time. And, it started with conversations and, kind of developed into something more. It developed into a friendship. It developed into something more than a friendship. And that's how we really, really started off.
Has Ajay ever told you what was it about you that attracted him to you?
No, he hasn't.
You haven't managed to pull that out of him yet. He hasn't told you that.
But you know, he's that kind of a person that all his actions speak much louder than his words. I think the fact that he's not a romantic person in the sense that he won't buy me a rose on Rose Day or on Valentine's Day, and he's going to forget for sure. And our anniversary is always question mark because I have to remind him 3 days beforehand. But the point is that wherever I go, wherever I am, he always looks out for me. I never feel like I'm floundering anywhere. I never feel unsafe anywhere because I know that he's always behind me, standing there. I feel him. I know for a fact that I know he's there.
That's such a lovely thing to say.
And he backs me 100%, and he knows that I'm there behind him as well.
So a fantastic husband, a beautiful family, 2 lovely children, a great career in movies. So would you say that all the desires that you've had in your life you fulfilled? Or is there any desire that's left?
I want to own a crochet store now.
Oh yeah, your crochet
I want to
obsession.
own a library. I want to start an orphanage. 120 things that I want to do in life. But yes, I think that all these things that you've spoken about are things that I have worked very, very hard on. I have worked very, very hard to achieve each and every one of those things that you claim that I have had so easy.
No, I'm not
and
saying
so
easy,
nice.
but you had
the
them.
way you put it was that, oh, God opened up his door and just showered me with all these gifts. Yes, he did shower them with me, but it took a lot of time, effort, patience on my part, and hard work to keep them and to make them as wonderful as they are today.
You just told me about how your grandmother brought you up with this kind of a belief and this kind of discipline and indulgence and everything. So are you really trying to be the same kind of a parent for your children?
Definitely.
Because I've seen you being pretty strict with Nisa on many levels and
I am very strict with my children, and I also explain to Nisa. I tell her also that baby, I have to be harder on you. I have to be harder on you, and I have to teach you certain things, because if I don't teach you, there is nobody else in this world that will turn around and say no to Nisa Devgan.
Yeah, that's true.
There is nobody else in this world, from the drivers to the cooks to nobody is going to turn around and say, baby, you can't have this. It has to be me. I have to tell you that no, you are doing this wrong and you are going about it wrong. And if there are any values to be inculcated, I have to be the one to give them to you. There is nobody else who can give them to you and teach it to you as well as I can. So I take my responsibility very, very seriously. And yes, and I do. And I believe that as Ajay Devgan and Kajol's daughter, she's going to grow up. And there is going to be a hell of a lot of scrutiny on her, which has already started. So she, again, has to have the same roots that I do.
Yeah. She
also has to grow up and understand that, you know, stardom is all well and fine. Everything is outside the house. Inside the house, you are yourself, without your mask.
You are a very successful star in your own right, and you happen to marry another very successful superstar. Okay, and normally what happens in a man-woman relationship, especially in a marriage,
Abhiman.
which is more no, not really, not Abhiman. I was not going there at all, actually. In terms of what happens in a regular relationship is that somewhere one of them actually defines what is being projected as a unit to the world. Like, for instance, if a husband decides that this is going to be the stand that a family takes towards a certain issue or a certain person, then the wife normally toes the line. In your case, also, it has happened that your husband has been slightly far removed or apart from the kind of people or from the kind of filmmakers that you have worked with. So in that process, how do you make the choice? Like, I'm sure it's not really always comfortable to be with your husband's friends or for him to be comfortable with your friends.
You know, you'd be completely wrong there, because I'm very comfortable with my husband's friends. In fact, I am so comfortable with them that I think I'm more in touch with them sometimes than he is. And they call me up to tell me, like, you know, listen, where is he? Tell him to give me a call. As far as my friends are concerned, I have never thrust anything down his throat, and I believe that it is up to him.
Correct.
The same way he gave me that choice, I give him that choice. And he hasn't chosen to exercise it, which is perfectly okay with me. I mean, I am not, I trust my family down his throat, which is a must. So I figure friends are a choice.
But what happens when there is a choice that you have to make professionally? In the sense that, for instance, the only incident actually that comes to my mind, which may have been a slight area of contradiction, was when the whole Son of Sardar controversy happened, where Adi, who happened to be a close friend of yours, with whom you had such a great professional working relationship and a great family bond with Yash Ji and Pam Auntie and all. So such a time, how do you come to a conclusion about what you want to do?
At such a time, the only conclusion that I can come to is that I believe completely that what he was doing was right. I do believe that, and it was never directed at any one person. It was never directed, oh, I am taking a point against Adi or I am going against Yashi. It was never that. It was against a practice, which is what we categorically stated in every interview that we gave also. It was never against a company or against a person specifically. It was against a practice, which he stood up for. And which I think he was perfectly right in. And we stood up as a unit for that. In fact, he was the first person to tell me that, listen, I don't want you to go out in media and I don't want you to go out in the press and answer these questions because I don't want to make it personal. It's not about you and it's not about your relationship with anybody.
So now that you are in a phase where your children are sort of settled, not really fully settled, and you have a production house, you can participate in its creative process. You have a husband who's extremely creative and who at some point I'm hoping will direct again. What are the plans now for Kajol the actress? Kajol the mother, Kajol the wife, Kajol the daughter-in-law, all of that is being taken care of quite well. But what about Kajol the actress?
Well, we are starting our home production, hopefully by the end of this year.
Oh, wow, that's good to hear.
So yeah, so that's going to be starting soon.
And you'll be starring in it?
Yes, obviously. The other home productions are already on floor. But, and my husband will be directing as well. Hopefully that will be starting as well. Again, at the end of the year, maybe, or maybe beginning of next year. Or, I don't know exactly the dates.
So this film that you're starring in is not being directed by Ajay?
No, that will not be directed by him. And I'm looking forward to it, really. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being on set on a film after 3.5 years. And I think it's going to be fun. I really do think it's going to be fun.
I'm so happy that you're doing a film. And now that you announced it on my show, you do know that this entire show was orchestrated so that I find out whether you're doing a movie, whether you're coming back into movies, and when are we going to see you on screen.
Next year, hopefully, 2015.
And I'm really happy that you came on this show and I got to catch up with you because it really didn't feel like I was doing a show. It was really wonderful talking to you. I hope you had just as much fun.
I did.
So how can we end this show without my favorite, a selfie with you? Let's take
Gladly. Okay, ready?
Снова на танцполе музыка играет, нет свободных мест, их волною накрывает. Я смотрю в глаза, многим нравится стесняться. Этой ночью вместе мы будем отрываться. Музыка качает, там и будем отрываться. Музыка качает, там и будем отрываться. Музыка качает, там и будем отрываться. Музыка качает, танцпол кончает. Музыка качает, танцпол кончает. Музыка качает, танцпол кончает. Музыка качает, танцпол кончает. Музыка качает, танцпол кончает.
Selling has never been easier. Download the OLX application, click a picture of your product and upload. Select the category of your product. Enter your details and just click on sell. So what are you waiting for? OLX पे बेच दे.